can hear the music.
Maybe it's just 'cause I've only known freedom, entitled to dreams and safety and things, free to complain and say here's the answer. Maybe it's just 'cause I've only known freedom. Maybe it's just that I'm trying to remember a million small things, like do unto others, things that we knew when we were just babies. Maybe it's just that I'm trying to remember. Maybe it's just that we're slowly forgetting the women and the children who bled with the men for better conditions in mines and in factories. Maybe it's just that we're slowly forgetting. Maybe it's just that we can't hide the story of the killing of the Indians and blacks and Chinese, and the poor who fight wars while the rich drink martinis. Maybe it's just that we can't hide the story. Maybe it's just that I'm growing impatient with leaders and bosses who laugh up their sleeves and think that we're stupid and won't lift a finger. Maybe it's just that I'm growing impatient. Maybe it's just that I know that they're lying for money and power and shortcuts and privilege. They tell us we owe them for all that we're blessed with. And Maybe it's just that I know that they're lying. Da 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 da. Maybe it's just that I'm becoming indifferent. I've got troubles enough without thinking of you, and horrors that don't really touch me directly. And maybe it's just that I'm becoming indifferent. Maybe it's just that I want my compassion intact, undiluted, and free of disguise. So hit me for saying, well, that's just how the world is. Maybe it's just that I want my compassion. And maybe it's just that it's never quite over, while arrogant powers digest and consume, while people have children and pray for their future. Maybe it's just that it's never quite over. It's never quite over. Chips and NASDAQ or 401ks. Our programs are gutted while taxes build weapons. Maybe it's just that we're talking about people. Maybe it's just that the people are stronger. No one on top ever hands you a thing. You'll die for resisting and still ask for better. Maybe it's just that people are stronger. Maybe it's just that I've only known freedom, but I still believe in dreams and the hope that that brings. I hope we complain when they won't hear the answer. Maybe it's just that we're talking about freedom. You know, we're talking about freedom. Talking about freedom. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Whether we get to come together in one physical space or come together virtually from who knows how many places, I hope you know that you're welcome here, no matter who you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity. We come together in mutual respect. We try to encourage one another to grow and to keep questing for truth, knowing that the path is an unfolding one and that change is constant. We set this time aside in order that we might contemplate and elevate matters of worth. And because we have so many different ideas and of spiritual centeredness, those matters of worth are many. Still, we are here in covenant of how we will be together rather than creed about what we believe. We believe we don't have to believe alike to love alike. This particular service is coming to us 93 days before what I think is the most important election of my lifetime, and I'm old. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm and promote the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process in our congregations, but in society at large. Though our travels are limited, we need to seek ways to be involved and do all we can now. I don't know your vote or position, but I believe we have the right and opportunity to turn tides of injustice right now that we've never had before. The spirit of this church is, like I said, rooted in covenant, not creed. So we follow integrity, our own integrity, what Spirit calls us to do, to work all we can to build a beloved community, one that is just and compassionate, working for a free world. I hope you're all healthy, and I thank you again for joining us this morning.
Hi, this is Bennett Upton. I'm your board president. I'm recently in from space. And so I just wanted to talk to you today about a couple of things. One of those is online contributions. Online contributions, I'm not just going to ask you for all of your money, although I would like to. We could always use it. We are certainly not flush with cash. But one of the things we have been able to offer in the recent past is the ability to give the online contributions, and surely that link will show up in the comments. Also, if you've been doing it recently, you've probably noticed that there's a new look to it. There's some nice green sprouts in the background. I like it, and I'm the one who gets to set those because I'm the only one who knows how to do it. So, but also there's a few different updates that have come into that as well. So one of the things that you can do is you can choose what fund you want to give to. And we've got, you can give to your pledge, you can give to collection plates, or, if you're paying for a rental in the building, then you can also pay for that. That is not tax deductible. You will not get that added to your statement. But also, in addition to all of that, we plan on doing maybe some changes in the future, maybe adding some options to that list, so that we're able to be a lot more flexible with the way that we are able to collect money for different causes, and to be able to quickly, like rapidly, help other organizations in the area, so that with very short notice kinds of things. I think that would be a very helpful thing that we could do in the community. And there will be more to come on that, but knowing that you can do that online is, I think, a very valuable thing. And also the other thing is that you can Now there's a checkbox that you can see exactly how much it costs you to donate online, because you can always donate by check, that is free, or you can donate online, and that's going to be, well, it'll tell you exactly how much that's going to be and give you an option to increase the donation by exactly that amount so that you can cover the cost of donating for the convenience of being able to donate online, or not. You know, like, we would love your donation, whether you want to cover the extra change on that or not. But the knowledge and the awareness of how much that costs to do the online donation as opposed to mailing in a check. I know mailing in checks seems so outdated. The only other thing I wanted to mention is the visitor log, and I'll post a comment in the Facebook feed about where you can go and put your information in for the visitor log. We got some comments on that last week, and I'm hoping to hear some more. So thank you very much, and I'm going to pass it over to Susan. Thank you.
I love it. I feel like I need jazz hands for that intro. Thank you so much, Barbara. Hello, everybody. It's nice to have you here. Wanted to tell you about something that's going on today. We are back to collecting food for the Noel Methodist Church Food Pantry. Our wonderful dedicated member, JoDell Atkins, is a volunteer there. She will be at the church at 9449 Ellerby this afternoon in her green Kia Soul. Because as I always say, the cool people drive Kia Souls, but in her green Kia Souls, and you can bring your food for the food bank and put it in the hatch of her car. She'll be there for an hour from 2 to 3. And they are asking for spaghetti noodles, spaghetti sauce, and or cereal. So whatever of those things that you can provide, or if you have something else, that's fine too. They're not gonna turn down any non-expired, non-perishable food that you might be willing to contribute. But those are the specific things they're asking for this month. And we're gonna be starting this back up every first Sunday like we were doing before when we were back in the building. So please help where you can. And this week I did send in the email places where you can also donate to Noel or donate to the food bank. You can also shop for Noel on Amazon. So they kind of have all kinds of ways for you to help them out, and we really appreciate it. Highland Blessing Dinner is, this is actually our week. So we need far fewer volunteers, but if you're available and want to join us, it's 4 to 6 now as opposed to 5 to 7. It's 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. and we are probably starting a second day. There are a lot of hungry people. We were feeding up to 126 when we were in the building. Thursday, we gave out 250 meals. So there's definitely a need. And as I said, it won't be this week, but very soon, watch out, we'll be going to probably Tuesdays as well as Thursdays. Other things, we have Artist Sunday, Virtual Artist Sunday, scheduled for August 30th. We will be reaching out to some of you performing artists, but if you are a visual artist and you have something to share, we're going to figure out a way to do that, whether it's in the slides before the service, whether it's on the website, or kind of a combination, or on Facebook page, kind of a combination of all of these things. So we're very interested in your visual art, and if you are one of our performing artists from years past, you'll probably be hearing from us. And what else? We are having water communion also coming up, and we'll say more about that. That will be 2 weeks after Artist Sunday, I believe, the second Sunday in September. And we will be taking your little containers of water, and we'll tell you when you can start dropping those off. And you can also either leave your name and leave your story, a very brief story about the water with your water, or you can email that to us, and we'll have lots more information about that very soon. RE is taking a break till August 16th, and or Children and Youth RE, and I think that's all I've got for today. Thank you.
How is it with your soul? ask yourself this as we settle in now to a time of being together with our intention, with our energy, with our attention. Take a few deep breaths and check in with your own soul. The question, how is it with your soul, comes from John Wesley, the Anglican priest and the founder of Methodism. He was known to ask this question of participants in small reflection groups. I ask you because these are challenging weeks. And so, beloveds, consider, how is it with your soul? If your response to that question is anything like mine, I want to invite you to pause again. Take a deep breath. Say a prayer. Maybe sing a song. Or envision something light or beautiful. Give yourself a real hug. Feel the force of gravity pulling us toward the same center. Do whatever helps you feel more rooted and less alone. Now do it again. And once you feel that rootedness and connection, hear this. You are loved beyond belief. You are enough. You are precious. Your work and your life matter. You are not alone. You are part of a great cloud of witnesses, living and dead, who have insisted that this beautiful, broken world of ours is a blessing worthy of both deep gratitude and fierce protection, compelling us onward toward greater connection, greater compassion, greater commitment to one another and to the earth. Together, we are resilient and resourceful enough to say yes to that call, to make it our life's work in 1,000 different ways and throw ourselves into the holy work of showing up again and again, to be part of building that world of which we dream but have not yet seen. This church is not a place, it's a people proclaiming to the world that we are here for the work of healing and justice. The church is not walls built stone upon stone, but rather person linked with person, linked with person. A community built on the foundation of reason, faith, and love.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart.
Thank you, Susan. As we kindle this flame, may it spark in each of us connection and commitment to this living tradition and to each other. We light this chalice to kindle the flame of commitment to spread our beloved faith. Proclaim the good news that all are worthy and all are welcome. That God is love and none shall be left behind. May we carry this flame to all we encounter, letting our lives shine with its glow. We kindle a flame of power, illuminating the holy in each face. We recognize in it a passionate commitment to our shared faith, held and carried from day to day, week to week, a shining light.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply at the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port
Lord, have I known the wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
So many of you have probably watched this week the several memorial services and the many tributes that took place this week for Representative John Lewis. He was a remarkable man. He worked with Dr. King as a very young man. He was the last speaker at the 1963 March on Washington. And he very famously had his skull cracked open by a state trooper on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, that bridge that he took his last very moving ride over this past week. Perhaps even more remarkably, he forgave that very trooper many years later. He believed absolutely in the power of love as the only force that can drive out hate. I probably mentioned before that Representative Lewis was the only person in history to cosplay himself at Comic-Con. And I wanted to show you. There is the first frame from the graphic novel that he wrote with an illustrator. You can see him in the iconic trench coat that he wore that day with the backpack that apparently is missing now. But we know too that he took the backpack packed with a few necessities. He took a book by Thomas Merton. He took a toothbrush and toothpaste. And because he felt like he'd be going to jail. Unfortunately, the backpack was lost that day. But remembering that, and this is a picture of him that day, remembering that, he went to Comic-Con as himself, and this is him. You can see that spirit of love, talking with the children, and then he led a march through the hallways of the convention center with a bunch of the children and adults that were there. So, and the graphic novel is a wonderful way that he has brought back, that day and made it vivid for children and for adults who were not alive at the time. I was fortunate enough to see Reverend Lewis at General Assembly in 2015. And I took this video that I want you to see. He had just been asked by Dr. Cornel West, who was the next person speaking at the next event, but who popped into this event with John Lewis, jumped up on the stage with him and asked him the question, how did he stay committed to the struggle? And this was his answer. Except, hang on just a minute, because I've forgotten something very important. All right.
I could have died on the freedom ride. Could have died on that bridge in Selma. But I believe God Almighty kept me here for a purpose. And I must use it. I must do what I can to help liberate and free all people. You talk about the Supreme Court decision on health care. You speak about same-sex marriage. My colleagues will tell you almost 20 years ago, when we had the Defense of Marriage Act, and somebody said, you shouldn't say anything, you should be quiet. I said, I cannot be quiet. I'm not a lawyer, but I know something about the 14th Amendment to the Constitution.
Amen.
You cannot have equality for some of us and not for all of us.
So I apologize for the Dramamine cam there. That was obviously my very amateur video skills. But what he said, in case you couldn't hear, was, I could have died on the Freedom Ride. I could have died on that bridge in Selma. But I believe God Almighty kept me here for a purpose, and I must use it. I must do what I can to help liberate and free all people. And this was right, I should tell you, this was right after the Supreme Court decision on same-sex marriage. You talk about the Supreme Court decision on healthcare, you think about same-sex marriage. My colleagues will tell you that 20 years ago, when we had the Defense of Marriage Act, somebody said, you shouldn't say anything, you should be quiet. I said, I cannot be quiet. I'm not a lawyer, but I know something about the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. You cannot have equality for some of us and not for all of us. So he knew something about what we now call intersectionality long before it was a word everyone was using. He knew that, as he said, you cannot have equality for some of us and not for all of us. We have a long way to go to get to all of us. And we all need all of us to get there. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Larry, and for today's meditation, make yourself comfortable, body settled and balanced, spine straight. Begin with some comfortable breathing and shift your attention to your heart space. Imagine you are breathing in and out of your heart, and allow this breath to be deep and kind. In this sacred and quiet moment, in this space of inner vision and knowing, reflect. With this moment's breath, I have arrived. I have arrived in the here and now. With this moment's breath, I am home. This moment is complete. I need add nothing to its wholeness. Yet there is much that I may release to receive and embrace the healing presence this moment offers. Thoughts and beliefs from the past that no longer serve me. Fears and doubts of the future that no longer guide me. I release distraction, and in this sacred moment, I touch the earth with all my senses. I release self-judgment and embrace this moment with kindness and compassion. I release old labels and stories and begin this moment exploring new worlds and endless possibilities. I release limitations that have drained my energy and enter this moment with ever fresh life and joy. I release stories of separation and aloneness, and in this moment, I open to the welcoming circle of community, of oneness, of interbeing. In this sacred silence, reflect. With this breath, I have arrived. With this breath, I have arrived in the here and now. With this breath, I am home. Self and others are revealed as one. The circle of beloved community is complete. I am awake. My heart is open. And I am free.
From a reading by Sheldon W. Bennett, adapted. Oh, deep mystery of our lives, voice in our hearts and light in our minds. In the joyful freedom of our fellowship, we're here together as adventurers, called forth in spirit, people moving, yearning, questing, pushing the limits of our lives outwards to what is more loving and just, more beautiful and true. As Ms. Susan mentioned a bit ago, many of you have already heard and read John Lewis's op-ed in the New York Times. It was published this past Thursday after his death, but was written to be published then. Many of you have probably read it a number of times, and maybe you've heard it a number of times. Morgan Freeman read it. That's fitting, I think, for it does bear repeating, and this morning I'd like to offer a portion of it. When you see something that is not right, you must say something. You must do something. Democracy is not a state, it is an act, and each generation must do its part to help build what we called the beloved community, a nation and world, society at peace with itself. Ordinary people with extraordinary vision can redeem the soul of America by getting in what I call good trouble, necessary trouble. Voting and participating in the democratic process are key. The vote is the most powerful, nonviolent change agent you have in a democratic society. You must use it because it's not guaranteed. You can lose it. You must also study and learn the lessons of history because humanity has been involved in this soul-wrenching, existential struggle for a very long time. People on every continent have stood in your shoes through decades and centuries before you. The truth does not change, and that is why the answers worked out long ago can help you find solutions to the challenges of our time. Continue to build union between movements, stretching across the globe, because we must put away our willingness to profit from the exploitation of others. Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I've done all I can to demonstrate that the way of peace, the way of love, and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring. When historians pick up their pens to write the story of the 21st century, let them say that it was your generation who laid down the heavy burdens of hate at last, and that peace finally triumphed over violence, aggression, and war. So I say to you, walk with the wind, brothers and sisters, and let the spirit of peace and the power of everlasting love be your guide. In our tradition, we encourage spiritual growth, and we encourage our younger members to speak their truth to power. We've invited a couple of our younger members today to share with you. The first will be Gretchen Upton, who had to work today, and so she's participating via video. And the second will be Eleanora Lawrence, who's here in person on our Zoom call to share with you this morning. So we welcome Gretchen first.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry I couldn't be here for real. I guess I'm just a cog in a capitalist machine. But I want to talk about the pattern of doing something that you think is supposed to be good with a capital G, protesting in the streets, lobbying an elected official, the pattern of carrying out an action that's supposed to change something and being left with the feeling of hollow. Because who is this Democratic candidate truly on the ground right now good for when the system that elects them is broken? It's never left me with the sight of an impact or the feeling of one. I think beyond all of what we want to call activism, there's one really and truly revolutionary thing you can do, and that is to love radically everyone around you. It's to look at people, whatever they look like and however they believe, as people of inherent worth and dignity. It's to know that they, for no other reason than the very fact that they exist, are deserving of everything good in the world. And I think that's much harder than writing angry rants on Facebook or showing up to protest. I think it requires a much deeper part of you to know no one deserves the fate that comes along with the horribly punitive justice system, and then to outcast and fear our own neighbors whose faces in the crack of everyone's front door because they've just been released from prison, or to know that you came to believe what you believe by the grace of others, and to not offer that same grace to those who believe differently now. It doesn't align with our mission, these subtle mistreatments of people because of the course of their lives. I'm inspired on a huge scale by the national and global conversations that this moment has given rise to, but more than that, I'm afraid for a world in which we cast aside the idea of humanity for one of goodness and badness, as if those divisions were ever anything other than the systems that oppress us also trying to divide us. I feel very strongly that in this moment and every moment before and after this one, there is nothing more essential than living and moving and extending always love, whether that is emotional support or it's financial support or it's delivering groceries to the woman down the street or watching her kids so she can go to work, and maybe it's a community garden. And maybe it's mowing your neighbor's lawn before they notice you, but whatever it is it not core to us as Unitarian Universalists to enact that kindness as a sort of spiritual healing for us and for each other? Have we not learned from our foundation and this religion that all people are worthy of ease and of loving kindness. Mutual aid feels so much more powerful to me right now than does any other action I've tried to amplify my voice with. It feels real and immediate, and it feels completely necessary. And I know we can't expect a future without strongholds of mutual aid communities everywhere, because we have to rely on each other. We have an obligation to one another that our government structures, whatever changes they endure, never will. So I would invite all of you to look into starting a mutual aid pod in your neighborhood or on your street or in your apartment building. And if you live in Broadmoor, to reach out to me to help get one started here. And if you have questions, I probably don't have answers, but I almost definitely have the research to share with you. So yeah, just thank you so much, guys. I'm really excited. There's just a lot of work to be done.
Hi, I'm Eleanora, and the question of what I feel passionate about in the world today is a really great question, but it's a hard question for me to answer because it's hard for me to feel passionate about just one thing. I've always felt like that's a strong part of a UU tradition, that every issue seems to be interconnected with 1,000 others. And every time I think about ways to do good, I get frustrated and second guess myself. And I know it's important to pick something where you feel like you can do the most good, but sometimes it feels like I spend time and energy figuring out the right thing to do so much that I don't end up doing anything important, or it feels like what I do is too little. I know Gretchen talked about the frustration at the end of a protest or a Facebook fight, which I feel so profoundly and deeply. So the solution I've come to is to think about ways to just do all of it better. Think about the ways we should live our lives, regardless of what the thing we want to change is. And so it turns out the thing, much like Gretchen, I'm most passionate about right now is the right way to be passionate about things. This is one of the things I've been doing my best to teach myself for the past few weeks while I've been at debate camp. And at the end of camp every year, they always, whatever camp, they have a hype lecture. We watched clips from 80s movies. I think twice it's been the final fight from the Karate Kid. And they always tell us that the thing that separates us from everyone else is how much we want to win. But that's never really felt true to me, because I felt that in every scenario I've engaged in politics or activism or just wanting to change things, I've wanted it an incredible amount. And I think right now we all want it just so much. So instead, the thing I've tried to teach myself is the way to be hyped sustainably, because it's emotionally exhausting to go into every round wanting to win more than everyone else, because you lose. And mostly you lose when you really wanted to win. And I think especially because of the things that we learn in this church about caring for all things and all issues and the way they interact means that if you care about all of it, it's incredibly easy to burn out. And I felt it before in all areas of life, because we're taught incredibly well to care deeply about everything, and it's hard. In the excerpt we read from John Lewis's essay today, he called it a soul-wrenching existential struggle. Soul-wrenching. That's an incredibly powerful phrase. So I don't think there's just one way to do this for yourself, and I'm not really sure that I have a solution. But the thing I try to do most of all is think about it how you would sort of a New Year's resolution. I do a little bit every day. I don't put everything I've been working for into one win or one loss. I try to keep emotional distance. I try to think about the best way to do things, not just the way that will feel the best. And the most important way I've done it is to create a sense of community. I have close friends that I do debate with. I have close friends that I think about politics and activism with. We create a space where we can talk about what frustrates us. We can replace negative associations of frustration and just hitting brick walls over and over again with positive ones of community. So it's not as much a question of what the church can do in any one issue. It's what we can all do to be a little bit more effective in whatever it is we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you both, Eleanora and Gretchen. We're awfully proud of the youngins that we've helped be aware of, I guess, as they've grown up here in our numbers. I think their voices are calling us to a time of responsibility, even for ourselves, doing the things that we must do to be able to endure whatever the soul-wrenching existential times are right now. We're called to live in integrity with ourselves and our own spirits and our own understanding of truth, and to keep growing in that. I think they're doing an amazing job. Thank you. I have a reading from Amanda Schuber. In honor of the risk takers, those that hold the vision with clarity and charge forward with optimism, even in the face of other doubts. You are our lamps, our lamp lighters, and our guides. May we never forget the courage it takes to lead the way forward. In honor of the cautious skeptics, those that gather the information needed to navigate the tumultuous waters of change. You are the map makers and the preparers of the stores. May we appreciate your attention to the details that keep us on course. In honor of the doubters, those that may fear the changing tides of a turbulent world. You are our anchors and remind us of where we have been and where we are as a community now. May we relish your commitment to our history and your passion for who we have become. In honor of the dreamers, those that imagine what we can be to and in the world. You are the wind that blows the sails of change, pushing us ever forward. May we revel always in your whimsy and hope that dares us to never stop becoming. May the work we do together strengthen our community and our world. May we heed the call to always hold the vision of the free church ever in our sight and to work towards justice. Together, we wield a powerful spirit that is strengthened by the gifts of all. As we prepare to go out from the service, our closing song will be also the closing. So I extinguish the chalice. Ours is a communion born of words and welcome. Our communion finds expression in caring and commitment to our ideals. Our communion lives on in hearts, though this sacred hour comes to an end. The fire of communion lives in us. When we can truly celebrate the diversity of contributions and talents offered by all people, we shall overcome hatred and prejudice and oppression. When we can truly extend our hands to one another in loving acceptance, we shall overcome the past that haunts us now. Let us join together in that commitment to overcome, to support one another, to help be the release valves so that we don't burn out. To remember the love that we must keep at our hearts and ground it in. Let us join together in that commitment to overcome hate and oppression. Ashe, Amen, blessed be, so be it.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.